RMC has just announced their brand new coaster, the Wild Moose. Now, this is a replacement to the old Wild Mouse coaster. It's about the same size and length and height and all that, but it's an RMC coaster. So basically, they're incorporating what was on the pre lift into an entire ride. So this is either meant to replace or, you know, build instead of a Wild Mouse. They have new trains. It looks really cool. It looks like a great investment for small parks. So today we're talking about all the parks in New England and what parks could possibly be getting this in the future. Now let's compare the stats. The new Wild Moose is going to be 47 feet tall, 1,260 feet long, and will have a max speed of 35 miles per hour. Compare this to the original Wild Mouse, like the Mauer ones. This going to be was 49 feet high, 1,213 feet long, and travels at speeds of 28 miles per hour. So very similar stats. Now, if you don't know, I do live in New England, and there are a lot of very small family-run parks. So let's talk about what parks could be possibly getting this in New England. And just a few parks that will not be on this list. Yorkshire Kingdom, it's a very rundown old park, hasn't seen investment since it opened, and it's probably gonna not exist in a few years. And two, Six Flags New England, it's obviously a huge park, and it's probably not gonna invest in something like this. Okay, the first park I'll be covering is Funtown Splashdown USA, located in Saco, Maine. This is my home park, and I love it, but it hasn't seen a new coaster since the Wild Mouse in 2009. It did just get a new ride in the Shooting Dark ride, the Haunted Hotel, which is a phenomenal ride. But I feel like the Wild Mouse is just very janky. It seems old, it's been relocated many times, and it doesn't look fitting there. And now that they've got the new ride that's right next door, that's super well themed, I feel like they should take this out and put in that new RMC. It's probably not too expensive, like roller coaster standards, and they could theme it well because it's not too big, and I feel like it's just a smooth, fun family coaster, something that they don't really have because Wild Mouse is all janky. So this would be a great fit there, and I hope to see it, but it's not my top pick in New England. Okay, the next park I'm going to talk about is Storyland in New Hampshire. This park is getting a new small water park tower thing this year, but they could definitely use another family coaster. They have Polar Coaster, which is a family steel coaster that goes down the mountain, pretty very, very tame. And then they have Roarosaurus, which is pretty intense, has a lot of airtime moments, and is very, very fun. But I feel like they need something in between, and this RMC Wild Mouse or Wild Moose could do just that. So I think it could be a really good fit for this park. The next park is Santa's Village, also in New Hampshire. This park is another one with two coasters, but it's soon to be one. Rudy's Transit Coaster, whatever it's called, is getting retired at the end of the 2023 season to make way for a new Vekoma coaster. So I don't think this park is very likely to get one just because they're already getting a smooth new coaster made of steel. So probably not this park. It'd be nice if they got one, but probably not. Okay, the next park is Canterbury Lake Park in Salem, New Hampshire. This is the park that I think is most likely to get the new ride, just because the three coasters they have, because they took out the Aero Corkscrew, is the Eurofighter, a classic PTC wooden coaster, and a kids coaster. So I feel like they kind of need an intermediate family steel coaster. So I feel like this would be a great fit there. They haven't seen investment in a while. They're supposed to get a new ride, but they've probably abandoned that plan because it has been a while since they've talked about it. So I feel like this would be a good park. Okay, the second to last park I'm going to talk about is Lake Compounce in Bristol, Connecticut. This park has three thrilling coasters and one very kid-friendly coaster. Boulder Dash, Zoomerang, and Phobia Fear Coaster are all very thrilling, And then there's the little kiddie coaster. So I feel like they could use an RMC family coaster just for something in between. So it would definitely be a good fit here. Okay, the last park I'm going to talk about is Quasi. This is pretty close to Lake Compounce, and it has two coasters, a small gravity group and a very small kids coaster. I don't feel like they're going to get it just because it's such a small park and they're not going to make a lot of investments. Not saying that they're not, but I just feel like that it's not the right park for them. And also, before I finish up, the only other park I didn't mention is Palace Playland, just because they don't really have the room unless they remove a bunch of rides. Well, that will be it for today's video. It was kind of a different video than what I usually do, but I really hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching and have a great day.